Hey everybody, Saggy Crayon here with the last of the tutorial series. We've done it, we've made it. So far in the series, we've gotten through how to play the game, and now we're going to talk about what's most important. What do we get to do at level 20? So what is the ultimate goal of Isleward? How do you beat Isleward? Well, there's no real beating Isleward. There's no final accomplishments. But essentially, your goal is to craft 10 pieces of gear, head slot, neck slot, chest slot, etc., and a weapon. Whether it's a two-handed weapon or a single-handed weapon with a shield, your goal is to make 10 pieces of gear and your weapon system as strong as possible. You can go one slot at a time, just go for legendary gear, AUG it until you get 2 or 3 good AUGs, roll it until you get 4 or 5 good stat lines on it, and boom, you've completed your first piece of gear. You do that 10 times and get a weapon, you've done it. You've made an OP character, you can retire, wait for more content, or make a new character, but that's the goal. The beauty of Isleward, every single piece of gear is unique. There are so many possibilities with the different roles and the different stat lines and even the different builds to go for in general. You will never find identical legendary gear. It is just statistically not going to happen. So you make your gear, you make your character, and you are a unique hero with specific strengths and weaknesses, and that's just awesome. The mistake that so many people make that hold them back is they get idols and they waste them. You throw 20 unstable idols at a piece of rare gear with good stats, great. You just made gear that you need to replace one day. Focus on epic or legendary. My advice, focus on legendary. Let's play for endgame here. Get 2 or 3 or just 3 good stat lines, augmented stat lines, and then re-roll for glory, re-roll for the good roll, and that's where you spend your idols, especially in the post-buff Isleward world where idols are not as plentiful. You need to be smarter. You play smarter, not longer, and you can get where everybody wants to get. Let's talk about how do we get the level 20 gear. The bread and butter of getting level 20 gear is going to be farming the boss of the estuary, Mog. Mogresh, however you want to pronounce it. Mog is who you want to kill. For your bread and butter, get some level 20 gear. If you kill Mog, just kill him in a standard way, he will drop 3 pieces of gear, and it will be maximum quality capable gear, meaning no common gear, all magic, rare, epic, or legendary. The one thing about Mog, he doesn't have any unique drops. The only reason we're farming Mog is he is the only easy to kill, with an asterisk because Mog is a boss, the only easy to kill level 20 monster in the game. There are other level 20 monsters, such as going into the temple snakes and the temple boss Nyx. Absolutely level 20 as well, but way harder to kill. So farming Mog, bread and butter. You can't always get a temple team, a temple group together to farm there, so you Mog. The key to farming Mog correctly is having 200 quantity. Quality and quantity stats are one of the most important parts of Isleward for getting the gear to be strong, right? It's not endgame ideas. Like, nobody really wants to have the strongest quantity character, but if you have the strongest quantity character, you will farm way more efficiently than any other character, which allows you to then be one of the strongest characters and catch up to all these other crazy pros who have these insane builds. The only way to catch up is with quality quantity. So you bring a quantity hero to Mog. If you can solo Mog with quantity hero, congratulations, you're now one of the top dogs. Getting the last hit gets you 5 pieces of loot instead of 3 pieces of loot. It makes you almost twice as efficient farming Mog. And then if you are strong enough, you can go to the temple. Again, if you're strong enough as a solo, but that's becoming less and less likely. Typically, what you'll find is going to the temple as a party, since every monster in the temple is level 20 to get that good gear, and every single monster in the temple has full quality already ascribed to them. So if you can bring a 0 quality, 200 quality character, you can get those good drops from the temple. You get a team together that can mow through temple, and it's like killing 20 Mogs every 2.5 minutes. That's how you power farm. Leech off a temple group. Bring a quantity character. Bring a 200 quantity character to temple and you will be welcomed in by every single pro, because we don't have to worry about you last hitting and ruining the farm. And then once you mow down the temple snakes, you get to the boss Nyxalis. Year-round Nyx is available, and Nyx has special drops. If you're looking to get an exploding skeleton egg, you gotta farm Nyx. If you want to get that bow where you roll, it creates a taunt effect on enemies to attack the shadow where you used to be, just that cool stuff. Farming temple is the goal. It's where everybody needs to be to get the good weapons, the good loot as much as possible. So what is our goal? Farm Mog when we don't have the strength to farm temple. Farm the temple when we have the team. Bring quantity gear to Mog or temple. Everyone will be happier for it. Alright, now let's talk about the most heartbreaking part of Isleward. Disaster. If you know what I'm getting at already, you've had this happen to you. There are a couple different ways that you can accidentally delete the gear you've worked hours on, right? What are those ways? First and most commonly, you want to show off something that you have in chat, so you right click it and you want to link the item, which is dangerously close to the salvage button. So what's a way to avoid even the risk of misclicking salvage instead of link? When you open up your inventory, hold control and just left click the item. You no longer have to right click to bring up the salvage. You just control left click and that'll link it, and boom, we have avoided disaster and you will never accidentally salvage an item again. What's another way tragedy can happen? And this is what hit me hard, actually. I lost maybe 3 or 4 of my best gear pieces. Back when I started, they were endgame gear pieces. What had happened was my inventory was full, completely full. I had no extra space in my inventory, and I was changing the gear by removing the rings on my character to change it out with a different ring. So, rings and necklaces have X to all stats, 4 to all attributes, 12 to all attributes, whatever. When you remove a ring or a neck slot, sometimes you're too stupid to wear the other gear that you're wearing. So while you're not allowed to unequip an item with a full inventory slot, let's say you have 1 inventory slot open, you can unequip the ring and then become too stupid to wear your helmet. Your helmet unequips into the nether because you don't have an inventory, and that is literally tragedy. You can lose entire sets of gear by having the gear auto unequip because you're too stupid into the abyss. If this happens to you, there are ways to try to get it back. Some players say that the gear drops around you, but the gear is invisible, so you have to empty your inventory and then sort of run around the areas that you were at. Some players say, you re-equip all of your stuff by going to the hero menu, and if you click on that specific slot, it will still think that the gear that you unequipped, even though it's not in your inventory, it's still accessible through your hero inventory. So if your helmet disappears into the nether, don't panic, don't log out, click the helmet slot, and hopefully it is still there. Now, if you're looking for an idea of the kinds of builds that you can make, check out the Hero Spotlight section on my YouTube. I highlight very specific builds that I've done and other players have done. And I guess I'll just come out and say it. There's no more questing at level 20. Questing is a means to an end. It's how you get experience points. The grind is over for quests at the very least. Once you're level 20, you gotta grind 2 areas for reputation. What are they? The Crystal Caves is where you farm to wear a Zapneck. Zapnecks are a little bit stronger for owl builds because they do scale off of spell damage and I believe arcane damage specifically. And then the second place you need to farm is Estuary or Temple. Farm that so that you can wear a Cowl of Obscurity. That makes you stronger in so many ways because you heal when you make a hit on an enemy. Now, there are other pieces of special gear that you can get from farming, such as squiggle gear, but you know, it's cool to have some squiggles running around. It's better than not having it, right? But it doesn't have the punch that a Zapneck and a Cowl of Obscurity really gets you. And so there you have it, boys. I've appreciated the journey creating these tutorials for the Isleward community. If you care about spreading Isleward content, if you enjoyed the videos, please like the video, subscribe because I do plan to create different and more content for Isleward. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Enjoy the day. Peace.